Well, good afternoon. This is Houndog Steve wishing you a very pleasant afternoon. And this, I'm afraid, has to be quite a disturbing video. A veteran, a decorated veteran in Canada, has been debanked by the Bank of Nova Scotia. Okay, his name is JeremyMacKenzie, and he got a heads-up phone call from the Bank of Nova Scotia and said that he is no longer welcome at the bank and any of the branches, and that he has beyond their risk tolerance, apparently. So this is absolutely terrifying. Somebody has been singled out. Now he has a YouTube channel. It's called the Raging Dissident, and yes, he has some things to say. But I can certainly understand his frustration, because here is a young man who has gone overseas, has fought for the things that he believed in and thought that Canada stood for, risked his life, and has come back only to find all of the things that he has been fighting for are now quickly being eroded by this Liberal government. And it hasn't just started there, it's been going on for a little while. But I think we can all see now the level of censorship is just over the top. Cast your mind back 3 years. Okay, that was the Greta Thunberg. You couldn't talk about climate change. Oh my God, you get your YouTube channel shut down. Then it went into, oh, by the way, we only had 10 years to survive that one. Then we slid right into the pandemic, and all of a sudden, you all saw all of those tags on YouTube and Facebook, all of these platforms. They gave you some information, or you were fact-checked, or you were shut down or blocked, and that's still going on today. Then we had the truckers. Couldn't talk about that. People had their bank accounts frozen, and now we slid into Ukraine. That's the flavor of the day, and this is the most dangerous thing about this. Now you may think, well, this is a right wing blah blah blah, but this goes beyond politics. What happens, say for example, in the next election, we have a Conservative majority. What happens if the next election south of the border, and don't laugh at this, with the way things are being handled right now south of the border, you could see Trump re-elected. What happens when the shoe is on the other foot, and someone who is making extreme, or not extreme, but left-wing comments, or things that, the right-wing government of the day doesn't like, and you get debanked, you get cancelled? We have the right, it's the first act in the Constitution, the right to life and liberty. Well, if you debank someone, and I'll tell you, once you are debanked by one, and it won't be just Bank of Nova Scotia, you can think the big five here. Okay, they're all going to fall in step with anybody that they got a prod from the government, because, well, flavour of the day was, it had changed, and now all of a sudden, from 10 years ago, don't think they won't go back into your Facebook and Twitter accounts 10, 15 years ago and look for something that wasn't wrong then, but is wrong now. And there's no forgiveness. That is the other terrifying thing about this situation, and why we must all start paying attention to this. There's no forgiveness, there's no coming back. You will lose your job, you will lose any kind of financial activity, business activity, you name it. Okay, can't own a house, can't buy a house, can't get a mortgage. I mean, this is actually denying someone the right to life and liberty, directly. And over your political views? Who am I to say? If I disagree with somebody, they obviously are disagreeing with me. And, that's why neither one should have the upper hand in being able to shut down and censor the other party. And as far as I'm concerned, unless we're dealing actual incitement of violence, you have the right basically to have any opinion that you want. And that, again, is stated in the Constitution. Just because you have a different opinion doesn't make you wrong or bad. But if you incite violence, that's a whole different kettle of fish. Okay, and of course, you know, we found with the charges that have been laid against this young man have all been unfounded. Apparently, he's been free on bail. The court cases have not gone ahead, and so until that takes place, until this is proved in court, the bank has no business shutting down anybody's account based on their political affiliations. Okay, now let's just go over the story. It's not very long, and we'll come back and we'll do a quick wrap up. Okie dokie, here we go. Okay, so here we are from the Western Standard. Diagolon leader JeremyMacKenzie is debanked by ScotiaBank. And here he is. Yeah, decorated veteran. Canadian Armed Forces veteran and Diagolon leader JeremyMacKenzie has been debanked from ScotiaBank and banned from entering any of its branches. I have 30 days to find alternative means of financing the mortgage on my home, where my children live, and everything else you can imagine, Mackenzie said in a Facebook post on Friday. No, they wouldn't give a reason. There's no appeal process. I'm not even allowed to step foot in any branch location. But hey, is Jordan Peterson's Twitter account in danger? And I just want to put in here, I will link below a great interview with Clyde Do Something, a great interview with JeremyMacKenzie, and you can meet JeremyMacKenzie and you can judge for yourself what kind of a person you think he is. In a phone call with a bank teller that Mackenzie recorded and posted online, he was told that he would receive a letter informing him that ScotiaBank had terminated their relationship. The bank has determined this relationship is outside of its risk appetite, the teller said. Mackenzie was arrested by the RCMP back in September after he was charged over the summer with assault, pointing a firearm, mischief and using a restricted weapon in a careless manner. He was granted bail and released from a Saskatchewan prison back in November. Morgan May, Mackenzie's girlfriend, previously told the Western Standard the incident that led to his arrest was fabricated and there was never any firearm involved. Mackenzie and his group Diagolon, which is based off a fictional and satirical country stretching from Alaska to Florida, have been through a slew of controversies over the past few years. The incidents range from crude statements Mackenzie and his followers have made during live streams to Diagolon patches that were found alongside firearms during the border blockade in Coutts, Alberta in early 2022 to a meeting with Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre, Carleton, Ontario. See, there you go. You met with a Conservative leader. Oh my God. While the Canadian Anti-Hate Network has called Diagolon a far-right accelerationist group, Mackenzie has repeatedly explained that Diagolon is a joke country and that the mainstream media, Liberal and NDP politicians and RCMP have exaggerated the threat his group poses. Now, I just want to take a moment to point out here that before anyone gets too overboard and is worried about this kind of stuff, remember that we have paintball clubs where people dress up in camo and go crawl around the bush somewhere and fire paintballs at each other. So this is not an uncommon behaviour at all for someone to make up a game called Diagolon and then play that out as if they're having a situational mock battle. Look at all of the battle recreations in America of the Civil War. So this is not, they're making this seem unusual behaviour, but it is not unusual behaviour at all. Mackenzie was not given any specific reasons as to why his ScotiaBank account was being shut down. Mackenzie was told he has 30 days from the time he receives the letter from ScotiaBank until his account is closed. But the veteran is also banned from visiting any ScotiaBank branches in person without first getting written consent from the bank. So just to recap, I'm being debanked, I'm banned from the bank, there are no reasons given, there's nobody contact, and that's it. Is that right? Mackenzie asked the bank teller. There will be some contact information in that letter, the bank teller responded. If there's anything you need help with in terms of your accounts, you can email your branch and discuss it with them. I understand your frustration. You don't though, Mackenzie responded. It's not frustration, this is catastrophically ruinous to most people. I can't imagine this is something people typically deal with, so I don't appreciate you saying that you understand because you certainly don't. Have you ever been debanked before? Mackenzie was also told Scotiabank won't be renewing his mortgage, so he will need to make arrangements with an alternative institution. Further details will be provided in the letter he will receive from the bank.
Does this letter come with any pamphlets from the government regarding medical assistance in dying? Mackenzie jokingly asked. The bank teller responded that the letter wouldn't come with any government pamphlets. No sense of humour. And if you live in Canada, you know exactly what this guy is talking about, and the MAID program, the medical assistance in dying. Thank you so much, Mackenzie said before ending the phone call. Folks, this is Canada. Canadian lawyer and social media personality Viva Frey has started a Give Send Go fundraiser for Mackenzie. And there you go. As he said, this is Canada now, folks, and none of us are safe from this kind of action.
So there you go. The big takeaway from this is, as I said, you know, when are you next? When have you broken some unwritten law that is changing day by day by this? Wow, I've never seen governance such as this. It is so inside out, upside down, back to front. You don't know where you're going, you don't know where you stand, and there seems to be no rule of law anymore. And if I can convey that to people, how urgent this is. You know, over the last 20 years, I was just talking to a friend today, that's the problem with what's going on. It's the last 20 years, the senior civil servants in government have been sealing off all of the points of access. So you could no longer penetrate through that wall of government. You don't have direct access to the politicians. If you ask, phone up a government office. If you ask a question twice, you're bullying, and they hang up on you. They may hang up on you anyways because they know it's going to take you forever to try and get back, and you probably won't get back to that person. So, wow, they've sealed off all of those points of access, and I think that is why we're seeing this kind of behaviour. They think that no one can say anything, or no one can stop that behaviour, no one can interrupt, you know, the process. And this, unfortunately, is the only method that we have left, is via YouTube and other social media platforms. Choose your words to get around the algorithm. But, you know, and you may wonder, you know, why am I taking this risk of speaking up? Because you know what? If you don't, you're going to lose the opportunity. And just say, for example, we're going to the pandemic. When you're finally sick and tired, and you're on your 15th go around, and you just got a flu, and you say, "No, I've had it. I'm not doing it anymore." Guess what? This will apply to you immediately. Okay, so don't think you're going to escape there. There is no escape. Doesn't matter what political stripe you are. Doesn't matter what background you are. If you do not speak up now, you will get to forever hold your peace. Trust me. Trust me. So, yeah, please make note of what just happened and get in contact with your MP, your MPP, and let them know that this is not on. Pull your account. Pull your account. I went into the Bank of Nova Scotia today and I made a complaint about this. That this is absolutely disgusting, and you know, we have a business relationship with the bank, not a political relationship, you know, and of course we can do the same thing. We can now say that they've taken a political stance that we don't agree with, and you can pull your money out and put it into a credit union. And trust me, we are the liquidity that keeps the wheels of banking running. Do not underestimate the flow of your dollars through that bank. That's what gives it its liquidity to keep operating the way it does. Okay, because they have commitments too, and they need a liquid portion of their banking, and we provide that. Okay, so pull your account and put it into a credit union. Use cash all the time. Do not pay by credit card, convenience card, or debit card, whatever it is. Use cash. Okay, these are the small ways in which we can stand up to this kind of tyranny, but be aware, there will be no escaping. There will be no escaping, my friends. And I'm sorry to have to bring you this news. Well, anyway, if you have enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe below. And in the meantime, this is Houndog Steve wishing you a very pleasant afternoon, and we'll talk very, very shortly. See you now. Take care. Bye.